Oh, hello. Today we're going to be finally doing something interesting, I think. This is, so as you can probably tell by the title of this video, this fine video you're watching, we're going to be doing a sort of like a podcast kind of thing. Just going to be talking about my experiences at TooManyGames 2023. Happened between the 23rd of June to the 25th. Yeah, 23rd to 25th. Just going to be talking about my wider experiences at Philadelphia, sort of in general, kind of thing, because it's technically my holiday, like my only, the only ever holiday I've taken in the last 10 years or so. So yeah, it's kind of an interesting experience. I'm gonna be going from like day zero. I've got some notes here. I'm gonna be going from day zero all the way to the final day, the day after the con. Talk about every bit of experience that I had. Not all of it's interesting, I'll admit. So I'm just going to kind of like talk about the key points. I don't want to rag on too much, but I'm just going to, ramble on as much as I feel I need to. Which might take a while. Who knows? So we'll see. We'll see what happens. So, starting from day zero. This was Thursday the 22nd. This is like my arrival into the country. I kind of just, I got up on that day. I couldn't sleep that night, because whenever I know I'm doing something interesting or like really exciting, like going to another country or going to a convention or something interesting like that, and whenever I have to leave to do that thing, like in the sort of early hours in the morning, like 6, 7 a.m, something like that, I just can never sleep the night before. Because I'm just too excited. I'm just too excited. I can't. My body is ready. Excuse me. My body is like ready to sort of like get moving, So yeah, I just couldn't sleep that night, but I still like managed. So like we went on the buses even plural. I did all of that just fine. I didn't like fall unconscious. I got into Heathrow Airport. That was alright. I checked in my bags. Real interesting stuff here. Checked in my bags. I went through security. Security was actually pretty interesting at Heathrow. It was actually pretty quick, which was interesting because I always heard that like it was kind of a nightmare. It's kind of a nightmare. It wasn't for me. It was kind of pretty quick. I went through, took off all my stuff, put my bags on the little trays I got. I did that and went through quickly. Only trouble is, as I was putting all my stuff like on the trays, like from my pockets and stuff, I somehow like misplaced my bank card, my debit card. So, and like I went through, I got everything else. I got my bags, got all my wallet, my phone and stuff like that. My house key, not my house keys. I didn't have them with me, but I got everything else back out from the other end of the sort of security area. But except my debit card, I have no idea what happened to it. I don't know if it like slipped down like the side of the machine or something like that, and it's just gonna be stuck there for the rest of eternity. And like in 1,000 years, whenever they take down Heathrow, they find my debit card and be like, "Oh, it's a relic of the past." So I don't know. I don't know what happened to it. And that's kind of like my only way to pay for stuff. So I was a bit terrified. Didn't really have any other options, so I just kind of, I got into the plane. Just kind of anxious the entire time. The flight itself though was fine. The food was not half bad. I forget. On the way there, they give us like a meal, like a bunch of snacks as well alongside it, like crackers and like a small like round bread bun kind of thing. And I got some rice with some kind of chicken, and that was like covered in this sort of barbecue sauce type thing. There was also like, I think there were chickpeas in the rice as well, like little black peas things. Those were actually quite nice. I have in my notes here me having some decent naps, like on the flight. I had some nap time. That was pretty good. Yeah, that was interesting. I also took the opportunity to play some Fire Emblem Three Houses because I had my Switch with me. I figured, long flight, play a long game. Fire Emblem, perfect. So I did that. Like on the flight was also interesting because we actually pathing. Our flight itself was like rescheduled a little bit, not rescheduled, but like it got moved a little bit because we were originally supposed to go directly from Heathrow to the Philadelphia International Airport, but we actually had to stop in Dublin because of like some sort of accident that happened the day before, and like so a bunch of customers had to like wait in Dublin for my flight essentially. So that's one. It kind of made the whole thing delayed by like an hour, which is, great. Kind of had to move forward a little bit because there was nobody in like the row in front of me, and a bunch of like two customers that came in from Dublin had the two seats like next to me because I was like towards the back of the plane. So I just like got the row ahead of me, row ahead of like my original seat, and that was good. I was kind of there for the rest of that inward flight. So that was fun. Like 8 hours later, I arrived in Philadelphia. It was pretty easy to get through the airport. It's kind of pretty clear signage. You will know exactly where to go. So I just kind of did that. Customs was fine. Of course, they asked like a couple questions about like who I was, what I was doing, that kind of thing. If I intended to meet anybody. Yeah, that was pretty quick. So there's not much to say about that. So yeah, I did that. I got my bags back. It's pretty quick and easy. No real issues there. But when I sort of got out of like the main airport area, the main like arrival area, I was trying to like make my way up to my hotel. I had planned to take the sort of bus system they got there, like the SEPTA trains and the buses and stuff, that whole transport system. But since I lost my debit card, I wasn't able to take any money out. I wasn't able to really pay for anything at the airport. So I kind of spent like hours, like at least like a couple hours at the airport, just like anxious, like ridden with anxiety and shit, just trying to like figure out how I was gonna like survive. It was a very harrowing sort of experience because I genuinely thought I wouldn't be able to pay for food for the rest of my holiday, my vacation. Me and my family, we spent hours searching for any sort of solution that would work. I asked for help from the airport. There was even like a police guy, a cop, that came over to try to like help in any way, but like nothing was working. We tried some like Western Union bullshit, but it didn't work. It wasn't happening. So that's fun. That was a very harrowing sort of experience. I was very concerned for my life. So, yeah, that's fun stuff. By around like 8 o'clock or 9 or whatever, I ended up just taking an Uber directly to the hotel, to which, that was alright. It took a while to get there, but eventually I arrived at the hotel, I checked in, and yeah, I kind of took it easy for that. I wanted to like decompress from like all the stress of like arriving and just being, just making all these mistakes and stuff. So, stuff to learn for the future. So yeah, that's my arrival, my day 0. Not the great first impression, not a great first impression to the country, to the overall sort of traveling experience. So that was fun. But the next day, Friday the 23rd, prior to the actual con starting, I sort of woke up because I didn't have my debit card. I had no way to actually pay for anything. I had to rely on sort of free muffins and the hot drinks and the water that the hotel provided, which wasn't too bad, but I was very, very hungry. So I spent a few hours in the morning just sort of walking around to different stores, walking through the rain because it started raining. Just trying to sort the whole money thing out. The cop from the night before, suggested Western Union. So on Friday I was just trying that. Me and my family was just trying to sort that out. My mum was able to sort of get it sorted out on the UK side of things. And I tried to go to different Western Union sort of agents or locations near where my hotel was, just so I could collect that money. For some reason, I went to a 7-Eleven, but their Western Union machine thing system was, or whatever it was broken, so they couldn't do it. I went to a Walgreens, but their system they couldn't do collections, which is weird, but whatever. I then went to what's it called? Some other store, and they were almost able to do it, but like the US side of Western Union wasn't able to actually let me collect my money for some odd reason. No idea why. Like, everything was correct, all the details were good, but it's just like, it just wasn't going, or wasn't happening. So I kind of sat there. They had like a little like table sort of area that I could just sit down at to figure things out. And that was when I realized something. You might have noticed that I was able to get an Uber to my hotel in spite of me lacking a debit card, a bank card. I didn't realize until after that whole Western Union shenanigans, that whole arc there, that I could actually just use Uber Eats or DoorDash or whatever. Looking back on it, it was so stupid. Like, if I just realized I could use Uber Eats, like, I realized I could use Uber. I didn't think about Uber Eats. I'm such an idiot. Like, it's just a mistake after mistake. It's just a layer of mistakes and just stupidity on my part. That is just annoying and stupid and like, I felt like such a genius, but also such an idiot at the same time. So, yeah, that was fun. So, once I realized that, I was really, really hungry, really desperate for food, so I just got like a box of Ritz crackers at 11, as well as like a brownie and a donut. I was hungry. I wasn't thirsty because I had water and the hot drinks in the hotel, so it wasn't that bad. It's kind of fine from then on. It's kind of all good. Like, all my anxiety kind of like faded off that point. So that was fun. So after I realized that, I walked back to the hotel. I ordered some McDonald's breakfast since I realized I could do that. So I got like what did I get? I got a sausage and egg biscuit along with a hash brown and some coffee. It was actually really good. The biscuit was really nice because, in case you didn't know, McDonald's in the UK does not have sausage and egg biscuits. We have like McMuffins, but we don't have the biscuits. So I wanted to try that out. It was really, really good. I would like even now I can just remember the taste. It was just so divine. I'd speak in more detail, but I don't know shit about food, so I'm just gonna move on from that. So I just like hung around for a while because it's still like a little bit before the con would start. So I just hung around for a while, and then I took an Uber directly to the convention, directly to the expo center. Sorry. After I arrived at the convention, sort of waited for the doors to open. I forget exactly what lining up was like on that day. I think at that point the doors were open, so I could just go right in, get my badge, and that kind of thing. So that's what I did. Walked in, got my badge, went into like the sort of like starting area that they had, which is like where all the free play consoles and the arcade section was. That was really, really cool. Like the main part of the convention wasn't open yet. It's kind of like have the shutters down kind of thing, but they had all those games and stuff just to play for free. So I did that. That was really cool. That was like really nice. So I just kind of took the opportunity. I just played as many games as I wanted to, because obviously I wasn't going to play everything. I actually kind of did. They had a Mario Sunshine available on the GameCube, on a GameCube. So I just took the opportunity to do a cool speedrun speedrun in massive air quotes, to get to Pianta Village, one of the last levels in the game early, from the very beginning of the game. I don't know if anyone was watching me, but if they were, if you did, and you're watching this, listening to this right now, I hope you had a good time watching me flail around for like 10 minutes trying to get that trick. Yeah, so I kind of did that while waiting for the doors to open. There was like a line that formed. I mean, people could like rush in, get stuff right away. I kind of just, I wanted to like wait that out. So I did. So I don't want to like bother with the rush. Once the doors opened, once people like rushed in, I kind of just waited for a bit. So the sort of area would clear up, and I walked in. And I kind of just wandered around. I wandered around the sort of vendor area. I wasn't expecting to be able to buy anything, because I was still under the assumption that my Google Pay wouldn't work in America, because I tried to use that at the airports. But then, that whole situation happened. So I kind of thought paying for stuff electronically, not through Uber or anything like that, I thought that was going to be like out of the question. So I kind of like looked around at stuff, kind of do window shopping, essentially. Did that. So yeah, then I found the area where all the guests were. I decided to just meet some people anyway, because, they were right there. Like, well, when was I ever going to meet, like, Roger Craig Smith? Ever? So, like, I decided to just meet him anyway. He was the first person I wanted to meet. I figured I wasn't going to be able to get a print, but I just wanted to meet him anyway, just so I said I could. I kind of, like, lined up. The line was very, very long to meet him. So that took a while. But eventually I was able to like get to the front. I talked to like the con representative person, helper thingy, it's whatever they were. Like I told her about my situation. I wasn't able to like. I thought I wasn't going to be able to pay for anything. So we just decided to try and see if my Google Pay would work, like their little like card reader machine things. Lo and behold, it did work. So I was able to pay for stuff, which is interesting, because apparently it looks like the machines at the airport I tried to use were all like ATMs essentially. So it's a whole confusing mess. But thankfully I was able to buy stuff. I bought a picture, which I'm not going to be showing on screen, or maybe I will. I don't know what I'm going to do. I might just like censor myself. Face reveal, it's not happening yet. And interesting enough, I actually have a little bit of a story. Well, it's basically while I was waiting in the line for Roger Craig Smith, and like at the very back, the line was so long it like extended out into like the TCG play area tables. So that's one. But yeah, as I was in the line, I was kind of like the last person in the line, and behind me comes Elliot Cancel, or Cancel, who you might know as some Comic Johnny's brother. He literally just came up behind me, and I saw him. I figured he looked familiar because I know what Elliot looks like. I was like, what is going on here? And then some other people came up behind him, and they like started talking to him like, oh, is your brother going to be here or whatever? And he was like, yeah, and it sounded exactly like Elliot. So I was like, my suspicions were raised. And I was like, oh, shit, you're Elliot, man. Oh, hi. I said hi to him. And yeah, he was a pretty cool guy. So, such a weird thing to just randomly meet him like in the middle of a line while waiting for Roger Craig Smith. I decided to use that opportunity to get him to sign my copy of Rugrats Search for Reptar on the PlayStation 1. Because I had my PAL copy with me. Big case kind of thing. And he was kind of surprised at that. So he kind of signed that. I had a Sharpie on me, so it was all good. There was also like a person in front of us who didn't know who Elliot was. He actually apparently did some stuff with Siva Gunner. I forget exactly what. Don't know if they made some remixes or whatever. But yeah, apparently had some wooden carvings of the Siva Gunner icon. Gave me and I think Elliot one as well. I asked for 2 extra so I could give them to some other people. And that was cool. It was a very weird moment. I was kind of sandwiched between 2 very cool people. So yeah. So yeah, after I met Roger, after I did all that, I kind of walked around for a bit longer. I was kind of invigorated by the knowledge that I could actually buy stuff. That literally like made my day. I was so happy. But literally like an exact like mirror of how I felt during day 0, during like Thursday, the whole like stretch of the arrival. So kind of walked around a bit. Later, I lined up for the Sam Procrastinates and Chalmix sort of meetup. That was in like the guest area. I was one of the first people in line because they were like, I was walking by. I was sort of like at their like table, like setting up, and I was like, another person with me, like long blonde hair or whatever. And we were kind of like, oh, what's going on? Oh, are they ready yet? I was like, should we line up? We were like, oh, we were not sure what was going on, but then it just called us over, and he kind of just like stood there and waited for a bit. Yeah, and apparently, it was also really, really cool because apparently Matthew Mannheimer was there. And if you don't know who that is, that was he was the former owner of Tales Channel, and I was a big Tales Channel guy back in like 2014, back when he was running the channel. So that was cool. I met Matthew Mannheimer, the mean guy himself. I had no idea he was going to be there. That was a complete surprise. But yeah, eventually I was able to meet Sam and Jalmix. I told them both I was from the UK. They were both surprised. Sam was like. It was like, that's so awesome, like a sort of really genuine sort of way. I've got like a printer because they had a bunch of prints from them for their panel that they're going to do on the Sunday. So they had some of them, and I got them to sign it. I also got Matt to sign it as well, so that was cool. After that, I lined up to meet some Call Me Johnny. The line for that was really quite long, which was kind of surprising to me. It wasn't as long as the one for Roger Craig Smith, but it was still quite long. But yeah, no, Johnny was a pretty cool dude. I told him like about my story with his channel. I found it while I was like looking for Minecraft content. I found his Minecraft review. He was surprised to hear that it was Minecraft of all things that like started my love for his channel, because usually it's like there's Sonic videos and stuff, right? Because there is more popular stuff. I told him I was like really into that game when I was like at that age, at 13, whatever. But you know, he was a cool dude. I got to sign him my copy of Sonic Generations when I like busted it out of the bag and like put it on the table. He was like, finally some fucking taste, which implies that everyone else up to that point on that day have given in like memes and shit posts and stuff. Quarry House tier kind of thing. I also got him and Matt from Super Game Bros, his friend, Johnny's friend, to sign Rugrats, Such a Reptile as well. Elliot was there as well, so we kind of like acknowledged the fact that we were both waiting to meet Roger Craig Smith. But yeah, after I met Johnny and the SGB crew, I decided to meet Mark Whitten. The line for Mark was it was alright. Definitely not as long as the Johnny line, but it was pretty comfortably long. It was understandably so. Not much really happened in the line for that. When I met him, told him my story about my experiences with Fire Emblem Three Houses, because you know in case you didn't know, he voices Seraph in the game. I told him how much I love the game, how much it's like impacted me, kind of thing. Is genuinely like that left a pretty like positive impact on my life. Maybe in some parts negative as well, depending on your perspective. But let's not get into that. So it's a topic for another video, actually. Yeah, he was like really touched by my story as well. He thanked me for it. He told me how he loved getting to play Seraph, a character like so many layers and depth to him. So that was a really like cool conversation that we had. I got him to sign my Three Houses like Switch carrying case, which I might put a picture up on screen. So there it is. Maybe. So yeah, after I met Mark Whitten, I decided to walk around the vendor space, now with the intention to buy stuff, because I knew I could do that. But apparently like some vendors at the con weren't able to take Google Pay, and some could, which is interesting. I don't really remember what I got on that day, if I really got anything. Yeah, I don't think I did. I might have, actually. I'll come back to you on that one, actually. So yeah, after I did the vendor stuff, I caught a bit of the Roger Craig Smith and Patricia Somerset panel. That was pretty cool. Much to say, you could probably find out on YouTube or something, I don't know. So yeah, I walked around for the rest of the day, checked out some more of the vendors. Not much else really happened. Then at the end of the day, I got an Uber back to the hotel, and all was good from there. Day 2, Saturday, 24th June, 2023. Just before the con started, in the morning, I think I got some more breakfast from somewhere. I don't remember where from. I think it was McDonald's again. I'm not No. What I got, for some reason I didn't put it down on my notes here. But I got some stuff from Dunkin' Donuts. I got a chocolate glazed donut with some coffee. I think it was coffee. Might have been hot chocolate. I can't remember. I would have known if I put it down on my notes. Silly me. But yeah, that was alright. It was definitely a bit too sugary. I probably didn't need to go that hard on it. But yeah, did what I did. Made use of the opportunities that I had. Anyway, after all that, after I had breakfast and stuff, after I was ready to sort of go out, I got an Uber to the nearby Target, because I just wanted to check it out. I wanted to see what was going on at Target. There's a massive like supermarket kind of thing. Lots of space, lots of crap in it, lots of stuff. I started to buy 3 packs of the newest Battles of Legend Monstrous Revenge Yu-Gi-Oh set. I actually got 2 copies of Duality out of that, which was kind of cool. But yeah, after that, I walked over to the convention center. It was like incredibly hot that day, which was fun. I walked all the way through the heat. At the point when I arrived at the con, they let us in they were letting us in. So I just walked in. I already had my badge, so I just walked straight into the arcade area. And then I sort of used my same strategy from the previous day. I waited for the shutters to open, waited for the rush to sort of finish, and then I did that. I wandered through the vendor area again. I was like looking at some stuff to buy. I almost bought some very specific Yu-Gi-Oh cards I wanted, but I didn't. I just didn't buy them for whatever reason. Yeah, but that pretty much the first thing I did that day, aside from the vendor wandering, window shopping kind of thing. I lined up for the Cadecris meet and greet. The line for it was actually quite long, which was interesting to note. But it was worth it though. When I got there, Keddy was a pretty cool dude. It took him a second, but he like immediately recognized my accent, and he was surprised to hear that I was also from the UK. He was kind of surprised to like realize how many people come from the UK just to meet him, like in the US. So it was interesting there. He asked whereabouts I was from. I told him, I think. I might have doxed myself to him, but you know, it is what it is. It was a pretty chill conversation. I got him to sign my copy of Rugrats because I forgot to bring something specifically for him. I also got a picture of him as well. So, yeah. After that, I just lined up for the Johnny meet and greet again. But I only did that because I noticed that his uncle Greg was there. And he wasn't there the day before. And I wasn't able to like find him during the vendor spaces. During the vendor area. In the vendor area, even not during. But maybe during. But yeah, I wanted to meet Uncle Greg. I love his streams and stuff. So I just wanted to, tell him about that. I wanted to meet him. He seemed to recognize my username because I'm a frequent visitor in his chat. So that was really cool. That was really awesome. I got inside my copy of Rugrats as well, so it kind of completed that as well. And pretty much immediately after that, I lined up for the Crush 40 meet and greet, just to meet Johnny Giuelli. The line for that was quite long as well, but Johnny was pretty cool. I got a signed copy of a little small print that he had that advertised his merch store. But yeah, no, that was pretty cool in general. After that, kind of relaxed a bit because I did 3 meet and greets in a row as my legs were tired. So I bought a pretzel, I bought some fries and a hot chocolate from the food court, I think it was called. It was alright. The food was okay. The pretzel was pretty good. But the hot chocolate was pretty mid. Not gonna lie. It was kind of mid. So I've kept that with me as I walked around. I went to a next panel with it. Roger Craig Smith panel. That was quite good. Not really much to say about it. But it was nice to actually see him talk naturally, in as a regular person kind of thing, and not PR voice actor kind of thing, If you get what I mean, I might just made no sense whatsoever. It told some very interesting stories about meeting Kevin Conway and working with him for the Batman stuff. That was cool. After that, I waited about half an hour for the Some Call Me Johnny panel to start. That was really cool. I got to see a preview of his JoJo video. I might just leak that, but whatever. Yeah. He also said that he was going to be doing a anime games video, talking about different anime games. It was kind of I want to do basically a first reaction to it, essentially. A bunch of anime stuff. The first reaction to a bunch of this crazy anime crap. The first person he kind of asked for recommendations from the audience for stuff for that video, that anime games video. First person he asked, he pointed out the audience. First person he got recommended Super Robot Wars 30. I immediately shouted bass because it was bass. It was bass. Yeah, he then later did a Q&A. I tried to line up for that. I actually because it's supposed to go down the side. There's a line forming. You have to go down the side between the queue itself and the sort of stairs. Not stairs, chairs. I went the other way. I went the side from the curtains, right next to the curtains. I was kind of brushing up against them. That was all stupid. But yeah, oops. But yeah, the panel ended before I could actually ask him a question, which was fine because wasn't really too fussed about it. He also announced, I forgot to mention this. I don't even have this down on my notes. What the hell? Anyway, he announced that SGB would be coming back. And that was just a seriously hype moment. I was not expecting that at all. So I popped off, and pretty much everyone else did. I just remembered, I don't even have this down on my notes as well. But as well as that funny moment at the beginning of the panel where David Hayter came in. Because Johnny had a bunch of Carolina mates that a friend had given him. And David Hayter had come in for some reason. I don't know why he was there, but he was there. It was a funny moment there. There's probably a recording for it somewhere on YouTube you can find. after that, I decided to attend like the final bit of the Mark Whitten and Kira Buckland panel. That was cool time. It was mainly just Demon Slayer stuff, and I didn't really care for that at all. But there was someone who asked a Fire Emblem question, and that was pretty based. So, yeah. I kind of walked around for a bit longer. Didn't really have much else to do. And then later that night, I attended the Crush 40 concert. That was pretty awesome. Yeah. It was like super packed in there. There was like barely any space to breathe. I could barely see the stage. But it was still quite awesome. I'm so glad I managed to catch him live because it was really cool. It was actually like, they were supposed to like live stream it as well. But due to technical difficulties, like the show was delayed for like 40 minutes, close to an hour even, and they had to cancel the live stream. So yeah, that was pretty interesting. Hopefully they do that again next year. I don't know. But yeah, I then Ubered back to the hotel, and that was the end of day 2. Anyway, day 3, Sunday the 25th. Did morning stuff. I forget what breakfast I had in the morning. I don't know. I can't remember at all. I didn't write it down for some reason. So I went to the con. We kind of had to line up because for some reason opening was delayed for some reason. So that was fun. We had to like line up in the blistering heat as well. So that was like that just made it even worse. But yeah, when we did get in, I decided to forego my strategy of just waiting out the rush. I wanted to get in there first. Because I knew I wanted to meet David Hayter, the very first thing. And that's what I did. The very first thing I did, I lined up for the David Hayter thing, tried to get there as early as I could, but I was still like a little ways back in the line, because people were just faster than me somehow. But yeah, David was actually like late. It was pretty late to it. We had to wait like over an hour, essentially. So, yeah, that was interesting. Not really sure what happened there, but, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah, it all worked out in the end. When actually, like, interesting story there was meeting David Hayter. I got to the front. He had like another con helper assistant person. Apparently, the machine that he had wouldn't accept Google Pay. I told him where I was from. You know, that being from the UK and stuff. He said he didn't want to like send me away after I'd flown all the way to the US, so he let me have a signing for free. He just let me have it for free. That was incredibly awesome. It was like, I didn't have to pay for that. That was sick. I think I was so thankful for that. David was a pretty cool person too. He was nice. I found it interesting. I was from the UK. Not really much else to say there, but you know, it was a really, really cool experience in general. But yeah, after that, kind of walked around for a bit. I think I bought some stuff, ? I then decided to line up early for the Sam Procrastinates and Chow Mix panel. I was like the second person to line up for it, essentially. They live streamed it as well, which I didn't even notice. I didn't even realize that until after I'd gotten back to the hotel. I was like, oh, so if you find a live stream on the Sam Procrastinates channel, you can hear my voice, you can even see me. I didn't know that was going to happen at all. Anyway, I also met Clement there as well, because he was at the panel as well, so I met him and Caro as well. I got a picture of him, got a picture of Clement. Was it interesting to note, while I was waiting for the Sam and Chalmix panel, Philbo and Jay Moji walked by me, because they had the panel like just before the Sam and Chalmix panel, so in like the same room kind of thing. So that was interesting. I would have said hi, but like he was like walking off to put stuff away, I guess. And also, I'm not very familiar with his content in general, so like I didn't. That would have been weird. I also like found him on Friday because he was like in the sort of con, not the con. Well, yeah, the con, but he's in the sort of like arcade area. He was like right by me as well, so he was just right there. I didn't say hi to him for the same reasons as I already said. So that was interesting. After that, I wandered around for a few more hours. There wasn't really much else to do. I picked up some final things. I met one of my good friends at Zephyr Revolution. That was pretty cool. Go check out his content, by the way. He's pretty freaking awesome. I walked around with him and like one of his other friends, whose name I don't remember. And yeah, that was pretty cool, wasn't it? I picked up some final things. I ended up walking into the Game Apologist. He was also at the Sam and Chalmix panel as well, but I didn't say hi to him there because I don't really know. I was kind of like, I don't know. I don't know what else to. But I said hi to him, and also I had to like So as I was saying hi to him, I like turned to my right, and there's Ant Dude. Just Ant Dude was there. So that was interesting. And then I turned to like my left a little bit, and there comes Gilly the Kid. I was like, what the hell? I met like 3 YouTube people I like just in a second, one after another. So I got a picture of all 3 of them, and so did Safer. Also, I just remembered, for some reason I didn't put this down on my notes either, but I found Nathaniel Bandy and his friend Carl, and also Kedicris as well. I kind of just like wandered into one of the halls, and like Caddy, Nathaniel, and Carl were like right there. So that was interesting. I would have said hi to them, but they were kind of walking off, leaving the con, so I didn't want to bother them. So that was interesting. I think I also met. I think there was also, if anyone remembers, if anyone watches Kid Icarus, if anyone remembers the George of the Jungle video, how he received that game from as a donation from a fan called Nathaniel Foger. I think I met Nathaniel Foger like 3 times because he was. I think when I was lining up for Johnny or something, back on the Friday, it was kind of like when I was lining up for Johnny on the Friday, he kind of like came up behind me. He asked me to like hold his bags while he went to the toilet or something. Incredibly strange. He just like trusted a random stranger, me, to hold his bags. So like, I'm pretty sure that was Nathaniel Foger as well, because like I found his channel like a few days after I got back home. He had the same costumes on and stuff. I found his Twitter is like the same guy. It was him or them. But that was definitely Nathaniel Foger. I met like 3 times. He was there at the Johnny line. He was behind me as we were waiting outside on the Sunday, and he was also there talking to Nathaniel Bandy and Kid Icarus as well. So yeah, I also almost photobombed his picture with Bandy and Caddy as well. So that was fun. That's pretty much it. I don't remember any other interesting stories I had. I had a pretty good time overall, I'd say. I definitely want to go again next year, if I can. It was incredibly cool. Hopefully I can meet Scott Woz. Hopefully Scott goes next year. So I really wanted to meet him. I was kind of disappointed they didn't come this year. But fair enough to him. I mean, he can do what he wants, but like, it's kind of a shame. But definitely going to try my best to come next year in 2024. Assuming the convention's running in 2024. Who knows? It might just not happen. Who knows? But yeah, hopefully it does, because it was really, really cool. I want to like have that whole experience again, but better. Next time, I'll definitely remember to bring some travel money, because I didn't realize the importance of travel money until that whole mess happened on Thursday. So that was fun. Next time should be much, much, much better. Hopefully I can actually like do the vlog next time. The only reason I didn't do a vlog was because of that whole like depressive mess that happened on the Thursday. So yeah, fun stuff indeed. Kind of like ruined my mood. So that's why I didn't do it, kind of thing. Yeah, I had a really great time. My flight home, that was okay. It was very much nap filled because I was very tired. It was like there were a bunch of storms as well happening in Philly at that time. We literally like flew through a bunch of clouds as they were like lighting up, kind of thing. So I was kind of terrified for my life there. Not gonna lie. Our like takeoff was delayed by like an hour or so, just because of the storms. So that was fun. Oh, after the convention as well, I kind of like wandered around Philly for a bit. Kind of like looking at a bunch of stores, and I went into a Walmart. Apparently Walmart can't take Google Pay for some reason, but Target can. I went to a Walmart, kind of walked around for a bit. I went to a McDonald's. They got my order wrong. I wanted like a plain Big Mac with just lettuce on it. They got that wrong 3 times. So it kind of like reinforces my belief that McDonald's is just terrible, no matter where you go. Yeah, what else did I do? Kind of like going all over the place. This part is largely unscripted because I didn't write this shit down. I went to a different Target. I went to a GameStop. For the first time. I went to a GameStop, kind of waited around, and then I went on the flight, went to go home. That's pretty much it. And now for the spoils of war. Okay, so I basically got Sonic Genesis on the GBA. I know it's terrible, but like it didn't release over here, so I wanted to get a copy of it for myself. Just cartridge only kind of thing. I also got a copy of physical copies of Super Robot Wars MX and Super Robot Wars Impact on the PlayStation 2. Both kind of like, they're both sealed, but I think they're like specially sealed. They kind of like had custom sealing or whatever, kind of like from the vendor itself, kind of thing. What else? Got like a glass, got like a logo on it. There's like I think it's a Capsule Corp logo from Dragon Ball. What else did I get? I got a copy of Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage, greatest hits, like the green one, with that green sort of label. I just wanted to get that because it's an American copy or with like an American name for a game that I like, so I just wanted to pick it up. What else did I get? I didn't write this down. I don't like make a note of this. What was I doing when I was scripting this? What did I get? From GameStop, I got a pre-owned copy of Tales of Arise. Got it for like $15, which came out to like £12, so that was pretty good. Got the prints and stuff. Johnny was giving out stickers on Friday. I got one of those. I got the Seaver Gunner stuff. I got the prints from Chow Makes and Sam Procrastinates. What else did I get? In the Sam Procrastinates and Chow Makes panel, they were doing like a sort of a trivia contest. I answered one of their questions correctly. You would get, depending on the difficulty of the question, you would get a little model kit toy, essentially. If it was an easy question. If it was a difficult question, you'd get like a plush of a Sonic character. I got a question correctly. I stole it from basically the guy next to me. Figure that out. Figure which question. If you cross-reference this video and the live stream, you might be able to figure out which question I answered. I got a Sonic plush from that. Sonic plush is right there. I can see it. I've got it like right on this little desk here that I got. And yeah, I think that's it, actually. Sayonara, I guess. Goodbye. Have a freaking